Hello and welcome to another edition of my show. It's called Rob Carson's What in the World. And I just want to say that this is the first time I've done it on a new computer with a new camera. So you can see me even better, which probably is more of a curse than a blessing. Anyway, welcome to the show. We've got a lot of stuff to get to today. Some political, some not so much. I do want to mention something. This just out. It looks like non-farm payrolls rose in February to 273,000. 175,000 was the estimate. And despite the coronavirus and Donald Trump ruining the country, the jobless rate is the lowest in the last 50 years. So keep ruining the country. You know what we need right now? We need a Democrat in the White House to jack up taxes and regulation and socialize medicine. That would make things all better, wouldn't it? So one of the big stories of the day, of course, is now the Party of Diversity and Inclusion has narrowed its presidential candidate hopefuls and finalists down to 3 people. Yeah, Tulsi Gabbard's still in there. I know. 2 old white guys. No, not the guys from the balcony on the Muppets. Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden are the candidates. They are the 2 that are remaining. Elizabeth Warren dropped out yesterday. Here's a little bit from Elizabeth Warren, who was not too happy about the whole thing. And, of course, kind of blamed, I guess, blamed sexism to some degree. Here's a little bit of Elizabeth Warren out in front of her house addressing the press for the very first time.
Warning that I am suspending my campaign for president. I say this with a deep sense of gratitude for every single person who got in this fight, every single person who tried on a new idea, every single person who just moved a little in their notion of what a president of the United States should look like.
Okay, so people basically said that a president of the United States should look like a surly school marm or an angry librarian with an attitude.
I will not be running for president in 2020, but I guarantee I will stay in the fight for the hardworking folks across this country who've gotten the short end of the stick over and over. That's been the fight of my life, and it will continue to be so. So, anyone have a question?
What guidance would you give to your supporters who don't know who to support now?
Well, let's take a deep breath and spend a little time on that. We don't have to decide that this minute.
And I wonder what your message would be to the women and girls who feel like we're left with 2 white men to decide between.
I know. One of the hardest parts of this is all those big promises and all those little girls who are going to have to wait 4 more years. That's going to be hard.
Well, no, not really, because you really weren't a great candidate, honestly. And there's been some debate among pundits and whatnot that maybe sexism played a part in this. And is there sexism in the country? Sure. Is there bigotry in the country? Sure. It appears to all be coming from the Democrat Party, though, because if I'm not mistaken, they were a pretty diverse crowd to start with. There was an Asian guy. There was a gay guy. I think there was a transgender. I don't know. There's a lot of them. But ultimately, Democrat voters decided they just want old guys. They want a couple of old coots, one of them who can't put together a sentence. And, of course, I thought of this yesterday. Elizabeth Warren, went there with sexism. Here she is talking about how it certainly probably was that.
Gender in this race, that is the trap question for every woman. If you say, yeah, there was sexism in this race, everyone says, whiner. And if you say, no, there was no sexism, about a bazillion women think, what planet do you live on? Which
I also believe is the federal debt now. A bazillion, I think is what it is. Yeah, Elizabeth Warren went there with the sexism thing. Here's the problem. And by the way, Tulsi Gabbard is still in there. She's got 1 vote, 1 delegate, and it's from American Samoa. I don't even know anything about American Samoa. I think they make Girl Scout cookies there. At least one of the Girl Scout cookies they make there. I think it's right next to Thin Mint Island. It's right there. But anyway, Elizabeth Warren, the reason why she's not the candidate is because she is a humorless, dour, negative, unconnective, What else could I say? Not a very real person. Did you see the Facebook video she tried to do, or was that on Twitch or what? I don't know what it was on, but she decided she was going to have a beer with her husband, and she said, "I'm going to get me a beer." We were all supposed to believe that this was real and connective on her part. No, not really. Elizabeth Warren won lost because she was a bad candidate. Elizabeth Warren lost because her policies are terrible. Elizabeth Warren lost because she's not likable. I'm not saying that Bernie Sanders is terribly likable, and I guess Joe Biden is kind of likable, right? I mean, kind of like your senile old great uncle sitting at the end of the Thanksgiving table, kind of sitting there, and you kind of occasionally got to wipe something from his face, and he's the uncle that kisses you on the mouth. You know, when he sees you, he kisses you on the mouth and leaves a little wetness on your mouth, and you go, "Oh God!" And as you're a kid, you're like, "Oh no, please, no, here we go, oh, Uncle Joe." So yeah, that's what we got. Uncle Joe, of course, delivered a speech. We'll get to in just a few minutes from Super Tuesday. I do want to play. This is something that I saw on Twitter that I would share that kind of is a metaphor for Elizabeth Warren's career. Let's go ahead and just reminisce a little bit as we look back on her historic and failed campaign for president. There she is. I think she's running to the stage. Could be a porta-john back there. I'm not exactly sure. And here's where the campaign goes and where the campaign ultimately went. Yeah, right? Okay, that's okay. That was South Carolina. I think she just tripped over South Carolina there. There's Texas. And there's Arkansas and North Carolina. Was North Carolina part of California? I said that. There she goes. That's Elizabeth Warren's campaign in a nutshell. Thank you very much to Twitter for that one. Whoever put it together, it was pretty gosh darn funny. So now we're down to two old white guys. Let me go ahead and get rid of that. Yeah, I'll get rid of that. I do believe I had one more thing that I wanted to share from Elizabeth Warren. Let me get it real quick here. And pardon me for the fits and starts here a little bit. This is a new computer, and I want to say hi to John, who's joined me online. I do appreciate you joining me, John. Welcome to the show. We've got a lot of stuff to get to. Again, Elizabeth Warren is out of the presidential race. She is no longer the candidate. Now, there's been some discussion as to where the Democrat Party goes from there and what happens next. Because there's another Super Tuesday. And by the way, last Tuesday was not a super without Pete Buttigieg in the race. That said, you'll notice that all of the candidates who dropped out immediately, with the exception of Elizabeth Warren, decided to back Joe Biden. Now, in 2016, Bernie Sanders had the Democrat Party literally stack the deck against him. Donna Brazile was in charge at the DNC. She got money loaned to the DNC from the Hillary Clinton campaign, and she fed the Hillary Clinton campaign questions for a debate. Putting the thumb on the scale, Bernie Sanders ultimately stepped out of the race and bowed out and gave up and threw his hands in the air and didn't say anything. Something happened there. Something happened this year. There was a concerted effort in the Democrat Party, a memo that went out to the Democrat Party and to the candidates: support Joe Biden or else. I think there was a variety of reasons for that. I heard Mark Stein filling in for Rush Limbaugh the other day. He said this is about being able to control the president, that Joe Biden, with his state of mind, would be easy to control. Joe Biden will not make it to a second term, either mentally, possibly not physically. And he's addressed that. He said, hey, I might not live through the first term. Is that who you want as the president? Do you want a president who is clearly in a state of massive mental decline? And I got to tell you, Donald Trump, he takes a lot of grief, and people have been talking about the 25th Amendment ad nauseum for the last 3 years. Why? Because Donald Trump is not a traditional politician. Donald Trump says things off the cuff. Donald Trump tweets in the middle of the night. And the Democrats were ready to weaponize the 25th Amendment to kick him out of office, saying that it was unfit. Here is a presidential candidate who clearly is experiencing massive mental decline. It's obvious almost every time he talks. For instance, the other night in his victory speech on Super Tuesday.
By the way, this is my little sister, Valerie, and I'm Jill's husband. Oh, no, this is oh, you switched on me. This is my wife. This is my sister. They switched on me.
Now, if you were Rashida Tlaib, it could be your brother and your husband, the same person. I mean, that kind of makes sense. Or you could be from Arkansas. But that said, clearly not in a good state of mind almost every time he talks, like when he tried to quote the Constitution the other day.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing.
He kind of sounded like
we hold these truths to be self-evident.
Kind of like Bill Cosby. Listen.
All men and women created by you know the thing.
You know the thing and the thing, and you're talking, and then just suddenly kind of forget where you're talking, and the thing and the thing and the thing, and Jell-O pudding. Yeah, old Uncle Joe. Not exactly in the right state of mind. Donald Trump last night was on a Fox, I guess it was a, town hall, okay? He was on a town hall in the home state of Joe Biden, which is not Delaware. And I want you to think about this. Donald Trump is 73 years old. Joe Biden is 77, right around almost 78 years old. Nancy Pelosi is going to be 80 this month, by the way. Yeah, I know. They're the best and the brightest. These people, honestly, I mean, nothing against Walmart greeters. That's probably where they need to be. And I'm not even so sure that Joe Biden has the mental acuity to do that. To say, hi, welcome to Walmart. There's a hand sanitizer for the carts right over there, and come on in. I don't think he has the mental acuity. Here is Donald Trump being very sharp and very funny last night for a 73-year-old man, unlike Joe Biden.
I mean, he's going to make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year and much more than that.
So you want to face Joe Biden or Bernie Sanders? That's my question.
I'll tell you, I was all set for Bernie because I thought it was going to happen. We get ready for things, right? So mentally, I'm all set for Bernie. Communist, I had everything down. He's a communist. I was all set. And then
the guy is well, first of all, that little gap on the side of his hair, that really bothered me last night. Just run a comb through that. But here, this is a guy that's a stand-up routine. Watch this guy. This is an improvisational stand-up routine. He could keep up with the best on stage.
We have this crazy thing that happened, right, on Tuesday, which he thought was Thursday.
Yes.
But he also said 150 million people were killed with guns, and he was running for the United States Senate. Support me, I'm running for the United States. There's something going on there. But I was all set.
That's pretty good. I like to consider myself to be relatively funny. And by the way, I get funnier by the drink. Not when I drink, when you drink. That said, he was pretty on last night talking about Joe Biden. And Bernie Sanders won't say these things, and that's why Bernie Sanders most probably will not win on the next kind of super, maybe just good, extra good. I mean, not super, because we had the super one on super, because you can't be super again, so it's probably going to have to be like really good Tuesday. And unless Bernie Sanders stops referring to him as the other candidate, calls him Joe Biden, and actually brings up Joe Biden's weaknesses, which are his mental acuity, also that he's made his family very, very rich for not having any skill at anything because he was the vice president one time, his son particularly. Bernie Sanders has to say this. But Bernie Sanders doesn't have the cojones. And consequently, he's most probably not going to be the candidate. And it comes down to who the VP is going to be, right? Now, I just mentioned vice president. What's the first? I'm going to give you a little ink blot test here, and you can be liberal or conservative or whatever. Joe Biden, vice president. What's the first thing that came to your mind? No, I'm not talking about a person. You're talking about who's going to be the next president. Okay? Who is going to be the next president? That is going to happen. All right? Joe Biden somehow, some way, will most probably not make it through. Maybe not his first term. Certainly mentally, probably not through his first term, right? So you're looking ahead to someone who could take over as the president of the United States. You've also got to have somebody who's going to get votes. Right now, I think the only person who could possibly maybe win as the vice president would be Patrick Mahomes, the quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs, the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. Now, as we talk about Michelle Obama as the vice president, Hillary Clinton has kind of joked about it, right? She kind of joked about the possibility of being vice president. She was on a TV show, kind of poo-pooed the whole thing. But here's the thing that's going through her mind right now. She's going, there's only one pathway for me right now to become the president of the United States. It's not through an election. I'm not going to get elected to be president. But she may still believe that. I mean, I'll just say, she doesn't stand a chance. But if she's vice president and Joe Biden is the president, and somehow he can't make it through a first term, whether he lives or dies, or the 25th Amendment kicks in and everybody goes, yeah, the guy really can't do that. I mean, he's just, no, not going to happen. So Hillary's thinking, hey, I could become the president and I wouldn't even have to kill anybody. Huh? Right? Because, I mean, Hillary and Bill kind of, Oh, did you hear? There's a new documentary on Netflix, a Hillary Clinton documentary. It's a fluff piece, right? Bill Clinton said the reason why he had the liaison, particularly a certain act that was performed on him by Monica Lewinsky, was because of stress. It was because of stress. Yeah. I'll try that on my wife. Hey, honey, yeah, I'm stressed. I'm really stressed. Yeah, that's gonna work. Can't imagine that Hillary's too happy about that. Let's listen to a little bit of Joe Biden's victory speech on Tuesday, by the way. And here's another thing I want to mention. Hi, Greg, and hi, Paul, and John, and Dave Elliott, high school friend. How are you, my friend? Glad to have you guys joining me. I'm doing this early today because I've got to work later today. And I just wanted to test the equipment. I'm getting ready to go on Newsmax television, hopefully in the next week or so. And we're going to do a shorter version of about a half-hour version of the show. But today I thought I'd do a little long-form, cover a lot of different stuff. So I hope you're enjoying it. I know that there are better things to do this time of the day. But thank you for joining me and share with others. Here's a little bit of Joe Biden's speech from the other night. Nobody's talking about his speech from the other night. And I think some things need to be said about the speech the other night. First and foremost, number one, about his speech on Tuesday, Super Tuesday, is that he said absolutely nothing.
People are talking about a revolution. We started a movement. We've increased turnout. The turnout's turned out for us. That can deliver us to a moment where we can do extraordinary things. Look, our agenda is bold, it's progressive, it's a vision where health care is affordable and available to everybody.
Now, I believe that was supposed to be taken care of during the last administration. Wasn't there a thing called Obamacare that you were in charge of and you take a lot of credit for? Why are we still bringing this up? Why is health care even still a freaking issue?
Prices down under control with no more surprise bills.
Well, Donald Trump's already doing that.
Access to hospitals in rural areas as well as urban areas.
Kind of slurring a little bit there. Kind of like it says, pass the cranberry sauce down here to the end of the table here at Thanksgiving with old Uncle Joe. Give me a kiss.
Access to care. A bold vision. We invest billions of dollars to find, and I promise you, cures for cancer.
Oh, he's going to cure cancer. Okay. All right. Wow. All right. Put him in.
Alzheimer's and diabetes.
Well, you better work on that Alzheimer's.
Standing up to him.
Like right now.
The NRA and the gun manufacturers.
Kind of speaking with his mouth a little open there, kind of, what's the deal there?
And leading the world to take on the existential net of climate change.
The existential net. You got to watch that existential net.
I'm going to start by rejoining an outfit I helped put together, the Paris Climate Accord, and we're going to move it a long way.
Yeah, pretty much not saying much of anything. I mean, a lot of these things have already been done. I just mentioned that unemployment at a 50-year low, and coronavirus. They're already testing a vaccine for the coronavirus. My old hometown of Montgomery County. Well, it's not really a town, it's a county in Maryland. 3 cases cropped up there, apparently, so I'm thinking about my friends over there in Montgomery County. Not freaking out, though, by the way. I'm not freaking out about it, not using hand sanitizer and all that stuff. Although some of my friends in Montgomery County, Diane, Diane went to Costco, no toilet paper. No toilet paper. So if that happens here, I got show prep. Lots and lots of show prep. And that'd probably actually be a more honorable way to use the paper than how I use it. Let's move on to other stuff here. Oh! I do have to mention, this is funny. I also saw this on Twitter. There's some pretty good stuff on Twitter. Twitter normally is a cesspool. I hate Twitter. I hate using Twitter. I don't like tweeting. I do a lot of stuff on Facebook. I have a couple Facebook pages. I've got an Instagram page that I just put food porn on because I like to cook. And besides, we can disagree on politics. We won't disagree on ribs unless you're a vegan. And if that's the case, you have an eating disorder. But I've got a couple Facebook pages. I've got an Instagram page. I don't have a TikTok because I'm too old. I'm just honestly, if I'm a man in his early 50s and I've got a TikTok page, probably the authorities want to keep me away from school grounds, stuff like that. But I don't have a TikTok page. I don't have, what's the other ones now? I don't even know. Oh, coming up, there is a coronavirus hand sanitization dance I'm going to share with you. That was created for TikTok. I don't even know where TikTok is. Is TikTok, is it in the air? Is it on a watch? Is it on TV? What is it? TikTok? I don't know. But this is on social media. This is a brand new video game that the kids are going to be because Bernie Sanders, his voters were supposed to be young people. And literally 1 out of 8 young people came out to vote for Bernie Sanders in the state of California, which is where he expected all that. So the young people are not, I don't know what would be unappealing about an almost 80-year-old man who has no sense of humor and spits a little bit when he talks and loves Cuba and loves communism and wants to raise your taxes. He's going to give you lots of free stuff. Here's a new video game, I think, created for the final 2 candidates for president in the Democrat Party, other than Tulsi Gabbard. She's still in there. She's got 1 vote from American Samoa. Here it is, the new way to appeal to young people from the Democrat Party with their 2 old coots who are the candidates.
Fight! My name's Joe Biden. I'm a Democratic candidate for the United States Senate. Look me over. If you like what you see, help out. If not, vote for the other guy. Give me a look, though, okay?
And everybody was totally convinced that Castro was the worst guy in the world, that all the Cuban people were going to rise up in rebellion against Fidel Castro. They had forgot that he educated their kids, gave them health care, totally transformed the society.
Now, and they were able to read their execution warrants before they were murdered by the Castro regime, which was kind of nice. They were able to read.
All right.
Oh, it says here, I'm going to read. My name is, and today I'm going to be shot in the head. What is this?
Thank you very much.
All right. It's Chris.
My family's going to be jailed?
But anyway.
I just did Chris. No, I just
All right, I do that with everybody. I don't know what your name is. I've seen you before.
Chuck.
Sorry, I know I married you 20 years ago, but what is it? It's Kel.
Fairness to China and its leadership
China.
is, if I'm not mistaken, they have made more progress in addressing extreme poverty
Yeah, they kill all the poor people, and then you got all rich people remaining.
than any country in the history of civilization.
Right here in the state of
I love China. You just can't go to good American food there.
South Carolina.
Here in California, here in Nevada.
And Des Moines. I'm in Dubuque. In the state of Ohio. Iowa.
For some reason or other, being very excited when Fidel Castro made the revolution in Cuba. Kennedy was playing the conservative. And actually, when you read novels, people say there's a sick feeling in your stomach. Usually I'm sufficiently unemotional not to be sick, but I actually got up from the room and almost left the pew.
He's going to be up exponentially.
Exponentially.
Yeah, that's not a slip. He just doesn't know what the word is. I'm not even sure if he knows what it means, but he certainly doesn't know what the word is. It's exponentially.
Exponentially. It's exponentially.
Exponentially better.
When Fidel Castro came into office, you know what he did? He had a massive literacy program. Is that a bad thing?
I got hair.
And then immediately started burning the books
Legs.
that everybody that he disagreed with.
That turn. That.
You got to be able to read to know which books to burn.
That turn blonde in the sun.
When we were in Moscow, people here also were extremely impressed by their public transportation system. Chandeliers that were beautiful. It was a very, very effective system.
His mom.
As they're taking you off to the gulag in the public transportation, you could look up the chandelier before you're taken off to your death.
Lived in Long Island for 10 years or so. God rest her soul. And although your mom's still
Your mom's still alive. Is your dad passed?
Yeah, your dad's dead. Sorry about that. Okay, let's move on.
Yes, we're a compassionate society.
No, we're not a compassionate society.
Do you ever regret labeling yourself a democratic socialist?
No, I am what I am.
There you go.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing.
And thank you to Grabian News for giving the clips to me. And that is, of course, Mortal Kombat. There you go. Wow. That's who you get to choose from. Yeah. And most probably Bernie Sanders will back out quietly with his tail between his legs, and Bernie Sanders supporters will go crazy. And I want to think about this. Because this is a new generation of Bernie Sanders voters. It's 4 years later after Bernie Sanders was screwed over by the DNC. We've heard some of his operatives say that people who disagree with him should be taken off to gulags or shot. We've heard them say that, at least one of them say that Milwaukee will burn if Bernie, there, feel the burn, that Milwaukee will burn if Bernie Sanders is not the nominee. So it's going to get all sorts of ugly in Milwaukee. It is going to get all sorts of ugly in Milwaukee. Something happened, guys. Something happened. People were given their orders. People were promised things. Joe Biden promised Beto O'Rourke he'd be in charge of his gun policy, and Beto O'Rourke is a nut job. And he's also a giant muppet. He just flops his arms around and spouts nonsense like Grover from Sesame Street. Something happened. Something very big happened. Something very coordinated happened in the Democrat Party, and some people aren't going to take it lying down. And it's going to get ugly in Milwaukee. Oh, here's another weird, this is another weird thing. Joe Biden the other day was at a campaign appearance and decided to sniff a baby's head. Okay, that's kind of weird. Was he whispering in the baby's head, or was he sniffing the baby's head? I mean, listen, if you ever had a baby, I mean, I haven't had a baby. I had a baby. I mean, I held a baby, a couple of them. Actually, I changed their diapers about 10,000 times, and I was their dad. I still am. One of them's 20 now. One of them's 14. And when, a baby's head smells really good. Baby's breath, there's a reason why they use baby's breath. Baby's breath smells really good. So does puppy breath, by the way. But I wouldn't want to just sniff some stranger's baby's head. It's a little weird. But that's old Uncle Joe, isn't it? Old Uncle Joe. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, one more time, he is your candidate, Democrats. Okay, let's talk about other stuff. Let's talk about Chuck Schumer threatening two justices of the Supreme Court. There is a case being heard by the Supreme Court. It's called June Medical Services versus Russo. And what it's basically saying is that, a lot of people say you shouldn't talk about abortion, you shouldn't talk about gun control, and bullcrap. They're very important. 60 million babies have died in this country before they were born. Sorry, not going to support it, not going to be quiet about it. That said, June Medical Services versus Russo. What it is it's challenging a 2014 Louisiana state law that requires abortion providers to have admitting privileges in a hospital within 30 miles of abortion facility. Now, this is for a couple of reasons. A, if the mom has a medical emergency and needs to go to a hospital to be saved, or, God forbid, the baby might survive the procedure and need medical care. And this is the reason why Democrats don't like it. Because if the baby survives, they don't win. For some reason, I don't know what it is, the left in this country, Democrats in this country, have made abortion a way to empower women. They've made it into, if you say that no to abortion, it is an attack on women's right to choose. It is an attack on women's health care decisions. It's not. It's somebody saying, hey, stop. Think about this. That little mass of flesh in there, that's a baby. And it might be a little ball of cells now, but it's gonna grow. And you did the same thing. You did the same thing. I think all of us did. I kind of wonder about Bernie Sanders. Anyway, but we all did the same thing. We all started off as a little sperm. Do I have to do this? Yeah. Little sperm, do. This is man's. This is the guy's. Not identified. There's actually somebody with a penis. And here comes the I'm not going to get into the details on that. And this was kind of wasted with Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky. But anyway, that said, here's the sperm, egg, sperm. No, I mean, egg, sperm, egg, sperm. I'm saying the sperm could be a little more feminine, but I'm going to go ahead and make it. Anyway, here you go. Oh, and then all of a sudden they become a little ball of cells, and then all of a sudden they become kind of looking like maybe a little, fish or something, and then all of a sudden, whoa, looks like a baby, and then it becomes a baby. It's pretty cool. You might want to share that. I think this is going to be like textbook material for high school classrooms for centuries because of what I just said about. But anyway, that's what it is. It's not about empowering women. What abortion came about was with regard to the feminist movement in this country, and men in the loved the feminist movement because women said, "Ha ha, we can now have sex just like guys," and guys went, "Okay." So we just have sex and no consequences at all? I can just, we can just have sex? I don't have to marry you? We don't have to have children? Oh, wait. Ooh, if you get pregnant. Son of a gun. That would mean I have to take responsibility as a man for, the act there and maybe possibly having to devote the rest of my life to raising a child, which is my responsibility because I had sex and she got pregnant and it took the guy and the girl to get... Starting to sound like Joe Biden. It's going to trail off here. No. But that's what it's all about. It's not about a woman's right to choose. It's about personal responsibility, and it's about how unbelievably inconvenient and life-changing a baby can be to some people. Now, when people decide they want to have a baby, suddenly, it's the greatest thing in the world. When a baby comes along at the wrong time, it's a massive flesh. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. That's where it all came about. Let's go back to Judge Schumer, Chuck Schumer, Senator, speaking out in front of the Supreme Court because there are a lot of Democrats who are protesting the possibility of a woman having to, or an abortion provider having to be within 30 miles of a hospital. Okay? Let's go back to the original. And why is this? Because it's an inconvenience for the abortion provider, because it might cause fewer abortion clinics to exist, all of these things, and people wouldn't have to take responsibility for making babies and having them. All right? Here is Chuck Schumer actually threatening Supreme Court justices if they vote against the pro-abortion folks.
I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price. You won't know what hit you if you go forward with these awful decisions.
Okay, let's hear that again. Okay?
I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price. You won't know what hit you if you go forward with these awful decisions.
Okay, so you won't know what hits you if you go forward with these awful decisions. Hitting is the act of hitting, pummeling, taking an object and striking another one. Presumably, I don't know, could be a fist to Gorsuch's face. I don't know, but clearly that was a threat. And Mitch McConnell, the turtle, he actually agreed.
Yesterday morning. I'm sorry to have to read it into the record. First, he prompted a crowd of left-wing activists to boo two of the associate justices, as though Supreme Court justices were professional athletes, and Senator Schumer were jeering from the stands. And then the senior senator from New York said this: I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you've released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price. You won't know what hit you if you go forward with these awful decisions. End quote.
Okay, I think I made it clear that was pretty much a threat. Now, Schumer has come back. Let me grab this real quick. I don't have it right now. Chuck Schumer came back and of course, backtracked on everything. here is Chuck Schumer attempting, I guess, to say that he did not say what he said, even though he said it.
Now, I should not have used the words I used yesterday. They didn't come out the way I intended to.
So was that like an involuntary kind of like this Tourette syndrome kind of poopy crappy? Was that? Or did he actually say it and they came out exactly as he said them?
My point was that there would be political consequences. Political consequences.
They won't know what hit them. The two justices that you just said would not know what hit them. That is a threat of two people.
For President Trump and Senate Republicans.
No, you didn't say their names. You didn't say President Trump and Senate Republicans. You said the two justices' names.
If the Supreme Court, with the newly confirmed justices, stripped away a woman's right to choose.
It's not a stripping away a woman's right to choose. Can I do this again? It's saying that abortion providers have to be within 30 miles of a hospital. Now, how does that stop a woman from choosing?
Of course, I didn't intend to suggest anything other than
you won't know. They won't know what hit them. Yeah, you did.
Political and public opinion consequences for the Supreme Court, and it is a gross distortion to imply otherwise.
No, it's not. It's actually logical. It's actually like quite logical to listen to your words and conclude you said them.
From Brooklyn, we speak in strong language.
Oh, please. Nobody else does. I mean, people from Iowa just play patty cake all day. I'm from Iowa.
I shouldn't have used the words I did, but in no way was I making a threat.
Yeah, you were.
I never would do such a thing.
Well, you just did.
And Leader McConnell knows that.
No.
And Republicans who are busy manufacturing outrage over these comments know that too.
Wow, you just must think we're stupid. By the way, thank you to Breitbart for having that video clip for me that I could use today. All right, let's listen to Chuck Schumer one more time. Here it is. Hold on, let's try it. Hold on. Come here, Chuck Schumer. All right, told you I had a new computer. Here's Chuck Schumer one more time.
I want to tell you.
Hit me, baby, one more time.
Gorsuch. I want to tell you, Kavanaugh. You have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price.
You, the two justices. Just you two.
You won't know what hit you if you go forward with these awful decisions.
Yeah, okay. Wow. Honestly, what a completely dishonest a-hole liar. And that's what he is. That's what he's known for. But you know what? He's from Brooklyn, and they lie all the time. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Donald Trump has said that some serious action must be made. It's a disgrace that he was able to say that. He said that to Sean Hannity. It was a terrible thing he said. I was amazed by it. And you know what? Nothing's been done. Nothing's been done. But there were some crazies up on Capitol Hill to protest a woman going to get an abortion and having a hospital within 30 miles just in case something went wrong. For instance, Rashida Tlaib, representative, I want you to listen to this unhinged rant about how requesting that an abortion provider, which is supposed to be a medical clinic, providing a service, which I guess includes a woman's right to choose to kill a baby. Here is her unhinged rant.
This past year, I realized, my, are they obsessed with our bodies, how we talk, how we look, what we stand for? I mean, this type of policing of our bodies is so interconnected to all.
I'm not trying to police your body at all, and dear God, who'd want to be on that beat?
Social justice movements all around the country.
Social justice movements, okay.
I represent the third poorest congressional district in the country. This issue is an economic justice issue. This issue is a racial justice issue.
Now, just real quick, I want to mention something. You know, in these neighborhoods where you find Planned Parenthood, they're usually largely minority communities. And in many of these cities, upwards of 60% of African-American babies never make it to birth. Okay? Never make it to birth. So what she is doing right now is saying that because you're poor and can't afford a baby, kill it. By the way, Planned Parenthood was founded by Margaret Sanger, who was a eugenist and a racist. That's why you find so many abortion clinics on Martin Luther King boulevards across the country.
Tell you this obsession with our bodies. You know, I in the legislature, in the Michigan legislature for 6 years, used to say to people, yo. You know,
yo, she's getting all street.
Why what? You're so freaking obsessed with what I decide to do with my body. Maybe you shouldn't even want to have sex.
You've got another body in there. Hold on one second. Hold on. Oh, I got to go back to this. Hold on. Let me back this up just a little bit. I don't want to interrupt the good part.
Maybe you shouldn't even want to have sex with me.
Oh, that's no problem. I mean, that is not a problem at all. I definitely don't want to have sex with you.
Or with you, or with any women. The power that we have over our bodies to push back and use that power in saying enough is enough. We won't stand by for you to commercialize, for you to profit, for you to do all the things you do to what? To make us less than in this country. Because that's what it does. So I want you to know there is more of us than them.
There are more of us than you need to correct yourself there, you. I think Planned Parenthood makes a lot of money off abortion. They make a lot. So you're talking about profit, and she just talked about profit. Planned Parenthood makes a lot of money off killing little babies. One more. Oh, Busy Phillips. She's an actress. She was in a TV show that my wife and I used to watch. I'm trying to remember what it was. She's actually pretty funny in the TV show, but she is bat guano crazy with regard to this.
Here I was, sitting in Los Angeles in my beautiful office.
By the way, she's very proud that she had an abortion when she was 15 years old. It made way for her career.
Of my own late-night talk show. Soon,
she has a late-night talk show?
I would be driving my hybrid car to my beautiful fucking home to kiss my two beautiful and healthy children.
The ones that you decided not to kill.
And my husband, who had taken the year off to parent so I could focus on my career.
She's just like you and me.
And I have all of this. All of it. Because I was allowed bodily autonomy at 15. I will not be shamed into being quiet. We will not be shamed into being quiet. Never again.
Oh, I don't think there's anything that could keep you quiet, to be quite honest. And to your husband, I say, Godspeed.
Talking about my abortion or my periods or my experiences in childbirth, my episiotomies, my yeast infections, or my ovulation that lines up with the moon.
Wow. I don't even know where to go. Could you imagine dinner at her house? You know? I am not going to stop talking about my episiotomy and my periods. Yeah, I know, but could we just talk about what was on TV last night? You know, I hear there's a new comedy on Netflix. Have you heard about it? Okay. We can talk about your episiotomy. That's fine. I mean, that's perfectly. Honey, what time is it? Yeah. Gosh darn it, babysitter. we gotta go. Wow. Okay. Let's move on to other stuff. There's much to talk about. Let's talk about how much money was spent on Democrat campaigns. This is wow. Michael Bloomberg spent between $600 million and $1 billion on a failed presidential campaign. I'm going to get into how much he spent per delegate because it was absurd. And I also want to talk about Tom Steyer. Tom Steyer and Michael Bloomberg, probably the biggest waste of money since the New Deal and Obama's stimulus package, okay? Don't get it confused with Bill Clinton's stimulus package. That was because of stress. He needed his package stimulated. Completely different. So here's how the spending apparently went for the failed presidential candidates. Michael Bloomberg, $600 million is what they're saying, but it was a little higher. Tom Steyer, $252 million. Pete Buttigieg had $75 million. Kamala Harris, $38. Andrew Yang, $34 million. Andrew Yang. Amy Klobuchar, $30. Cory Booker, $22. Beto O'Rourke, $17 million. Kristen Gillibrand, $13. John Delaney, $13. Who's he? Oh, a Democrat from Maryland. Julian Castro. Remember, he was a candidate. Holy hell. He spent $9 million. Marianne Williamson, who was, wasn't she like Oprah's guru? $7 million, blah, blah, blah. Jay Hines, who knows? Eric Swalwell, he was in there for a while. John Higginlooper, $3 million. Eric Swalwell, $2.5 million. All the way down into the bottom. Bill de Blasio spent $1.38 million, and people figured out in a really big hurry that he was an insufferable douche and awful person, and no, bye-bye. But he only spent $1.38 million. Michael Bloomberg's 44 delegates cost him $13.6 million apiece. Now, this is if you just say, if you just go with the $600 million total. He had 1,661,135 votes as of Super Tuesday. He spent $600 million, but most probably much more than that. Tom Steyer, $252 million, okay? Now listen to this. Tom Steyer spent $1,200 for each of his 207,000 votes. Now, couldn't you just say, like, remember, what was it, Andrew Yang? He said to you, if you got to be president, he'd give you $1,000 a month for doing nothing. You get $1,000 a month for just doing nothing. All right? He had Tom Steyer, $1,200 per person. Couldn't it just be easier just to, you can't really, I guess, pay people to vote, right? Can you? Probably illegal. But just give a guy, say, hey, man, $100 if you vote for him. And he's going to save like 120%. No, like 1,200%. It's like, hey, hi, I'm Tom Steyer. I'm going to give you $100 if you vote for me. There you go. Any questions? Do we have any questions? $100 if you vote for me. That okay? See, if that were legal, I don't think it's legal, but if that were legal, it would have saved them a lot of money. Just run with one commercial. I'm Tom Steyer, and I approve this message. I'll pay you $100 to vote for me. See ya. Remember to vote. It's this week on Tuesday, and then in November. I might even throw another $50 in November. Just say, all right, we'll make it $75. No, let's make it $200. What the hell? I'm still saving 1,000%. Yeah. Hillary Clinton outspent Donald Trump by almost $250 million. $581 million to $340 million. Million. As opposed to a gazillion, which I think Elizabeth Warren cited earlier. She said that a gazillion young women were going to be disappointed that she wasn't going to be the president. Anyway, she spent $581 million to $340 million. She spent almost as much as Michael Bloomberg. Almost as much. Now you're wondering, what the heck happened to Michael Bloomberg's campaign? Did you realize that he had hired 2,400 people? Okay, his campaign staff. Apparently, he spent like $750,000 on meals. Field organizers paid $35,000 on annual basis. Massive ad buys, digital ads, designs, and giveaways. Catered meals and free drinks at his campaign events were matched with transcripts of his speeches provided by stenographers for reporters. Yeah. So his spending of about $1 billion is a fraction of his wealth, $54 billion. And by the way, since he became the candidate, did you know this? Since he announced his candidacy, his wealth went up by $10 billion, which makes you kind of wonder if that's why he ran for president. Okay? He put more than 2,000 aides on the payroll, paid extravagant salaries to exiles from Clinton and Obama campaigns, splurged on meals, accommodations, and a network of field offices around the country, flooded the airwaves. Included in that amount was $27,720 for sushi to keep his campaign army fed. For legal consulting, Bloomberg shelled out $3.1 million to the Venable firm. Some other expenses that were, this is a colossal waste of money, kids. A colossal waste of money. Entry-level field organizers would normally expect to earn about $35,000 a year. Bloomberg offered $72,000 with bennies. State and political communications directors are towards the top of the regular campaign structure, could normally expect about $6,000 a month, $72,000 a year, but Bloomberg offered him $144,000. He's a pretty good boss. Pretty cool. He obviously didn't come from radio. State press secretaries, $120,000 a year. National political director, $360,000 a year. Headquarters staff benefits in New York were even more lavish. If they were not from the city, they were corporate. They were furnished, given corporate furnished apartments on the east side of Manhattan. Every staff member was issued iPhones and laptops. Wow. In Virginia, he spent $18.4 million on TV ads, in Virginia and North Carolina. Lived high on the hog for a while, man. It's nice to have a billionaire. I don't think Donald Trump was just loose with his spending. And I certainly don't think that he bought sushi. I just don't see that happening. Tom Steyer spent $3,373 per vote and earned 0 delegates. This according to another article. Says he even spent even more. According to the FEC, Steyer has spent $253 million through January 2020, and all but $3,550,000 was from his own pocket. Okay? Wow. Spent a hell of a lot of money right down the drain. Now, what I mentioned and then the analogy that I made was about Michael Bloomberg. Michael Bloomberg and Tom Steyer to some degree, they were Charles Foster Kane, Citizen Kane. Charles Foster Kane ran for governor, and he lost. He had a very well-financed campaign. He had the media behind him. He owned his own media empire, and, of course, they couldn't say anything bad about him in his newspapers. That sounds familiar, doesn't it? Michael Bloomberg, he's a media guru, owns publishing companies. He told all of his entities not to do negative stories about him or the other Democrats. And he lost massively. Charles Foster Kane. Between Tom Steyer and Michael Bloomberg, they spent about $1 billion. I like to use the crap sandwich analogy. Okay? If McDonald's decided to make a crap sandwich and sell a crap sandwich, they could put together the crap sandwich. They could do a TV commercial with the bread and the crap, and then the pickles and maybe the little onion pieces, and just put that on there with the crap sandwich, and they could put $1 billion behind it. And guess what? There you go. There's a crap sandwich. Nobody's going to eat the crap sandwich. You can spend all you want on it, but nobody's going to eat the crap sandwich because ultimately it's a crap sandwich. Michael Bloomberg is America's crap sandwich. America's crap sandwich, and that will be what he's remembered as. He got 4 delegates from American Samoa. He got 4. And apparently, like his events, he'd have free beer and wine and catering with mini cheeseburgers, free buttons, American flags, T-shirts. Yeah, still will not sell a crap sandwich. Bye-bye, Mr. Crap Sandwich. Apparently, he can donate some money via PAC to whoever he decides to endorse, and he has decided to endorse Joe Biden. And Michael Bloomberg said, I endorse Joe Biden, and Joe Biden said, thanks, Jim. Appreciate it. Let's talk a little bit about the coronavirus. Are you freaked out about the coronavirus? Are you just nuts about the coronavirus? I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. And you always kind of worry about, should I say that the coronavirus is not a big deal? And then ultimately, wouldn't it be kind of weird if I got the coronavirus and just died? And I'm probably tempting fate by just saying that, but, whatever. Not freaking out about it. Haven't been to Costco just to buy toilet paper because of coronavirus. It's like, oh, my God, coronavirus is coming. I got to buy toilet paper. That makes a lot of sense. It's like when I was in Maryland. I lived in Maryland and lived north of D.C., and whenever there's a snowstorm, there were 3 things that people got at the grocery store. Bread, milk, toilet paper. And I always said, which one of those could you not live without? Which one of those could you not live without? Bread, milk, toilet paper. Okay, bread, yeah. If you're on a keto diet, who needs it? Milk, if you're like those anti-dairy protesters that attacked Jill Biden the other night, they don't need the milk, so it's not a big deal to them. And besides, Captain Crunch is fine, just dry out of a bowl. There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. Toilet paper, oh, yeah. You ever been without toilet paper? You ever done that? When you're in the bathroom and you realize you're out of toilet paper and you got to kind of do the awkward walk to find something and you don't want to, you got your pants down. Am I the only person who does that? You keep them down there and you just kind of walk and you with your knees bent, you just kind of walk because you don't want to move too much, because there's some things happening there and you just can find whatever you can find. It might be some of those designer cocktail napkins in the kitchen. It could be show prep. Could be all, you know what it's like. You can't do it without toilet paper. You cannot do without toilet paper. Well, Congress has finally agreed to, give $7.8 billion to fight with the coronavirus. And then Democrats were freaking out because that wasn't enough. Originally it was $2 billion. And Chuck Schumer was like, oh, my God, everybody's going to die because Congress has only given $2 billion to it. And Donald Trump should have said, well, okay, I'm starting with $2 billion. Where's it going to go? Give me an itemized list of where we spend the money to fight coronavirus. $2 billion. Just give me a rundown. Let's start with $1,000 right over here. What is that $1,000? Oh, you don't know anything about where the money is going to go. You have no clue as to how the money is going to be spent. You don't know what's needed. You don't know what salary is going to be covered. You don't know what kind of supplies are going to be covered. All of that stuff. But you're bitching about it because it's not enough. $7.8 billion is what Congress has appropriated to fight the coronavirus. Senator Kevin McCarthy I think he was on Fox News the other day, talked about the coronavirus and how Congress, the House, where spending appropriations come from, Nancy Pelosi put off spending appropriation until after Super Tuesday so Democrats could complain about Donald Trump not spending enough on coronavirus.
Look how much politics they want to play. The dirty little secret. We have a coronavirus. We have government funding that we need to fund this. You know what Nancy Pelosi, the speaker, did? She withheld the bill last week. You know why? So the DCCC could run ads against 7 Republicans.
How many people ran ads on the coronavirus fundraising appeals?
I don't know how many ran, but they actually took the Democrat Congressional Campaign Committee, spent money, went into these 7 Republican seats to campaign against them about the coronavirus when she's the Speaker of the House. Instead of putting America first, she put her politics first and held the bill from coming to the floor.
Wow. That takes a special kind of crooked, doesn't it? I mean, wow. Oh, boy. Donald Trump has donated, a quarter of his salary to the HHS to fight the coronavirus. That's not enough. $100,000. So he's going to donate $100,000 of his $400,000 salary towards this. In the past, he's donated parts of his salary to Border Enforcement, the Surgeon General's Office, and Veterans Affairs, among others. How about the Rob Carson Fund? Something like that. I could use it. Be better spent than whatever Michael Bloomberg spent his money on. Starbucks is going to have to stop letting people use their personal cups at the store. You know, you come in, you got your own personal cup. Starbucks sells it to you for like $40. Well, now they won't let you bring your personal cup in because they don't know if it's been cleaned or not. You think about it's kind of weird, to bring your own cup in and everything, and you just kind of, let me take that cup. I don't know where the hell it's been. Could have been in your car for a week for all I know, but gosh, give me that cup. Just grab me that cup. No gloves, no nothing, no hand sanitizer. Give me that cup right there with the lipstick still on it there on the rim. Just hand it to me, and I'm going to make a coffee for you. And we just put it in the hot milky thing. Okay, and there you go. Thank you very much. Well, they're not doing that anymore. They're saying you can't bring your $40 tumbler in that you bought from Starbucks that, my wife has a dozen of. Can't bring them in anymore. So you got to use their paper cups, I guess. Washington County and Washington State has urged all of its 2.2 million residents to work from home. Pulled 22,000 students from school. Here's the deal. 11 deaths in the state of Washington from coronavirus. And listen, it's something we have to take seriously. Of course. It's awful. It's awful. I don't want to get it, but I'm going to tell you something. Barack Obama, when H1N1 came out, he waited 6 months to declare an emergency. And in that time, 1,000 people died. In that time, 1,000 people died. Over 1 million were infected with it. 1,000 died before a state of emergency was declared by Barack Obama 6 months later. Stores are setting limits on hand sanitizers, cold and flu products, among other things, which coronavirus, I think we need some NyQuil. I don't see them airdropping NyQuil into China right now. It's not gonna do a whole lot. Not going to do a whole lot. And people are also going into Home Depot and they're buying all these masks you normally use when you're sanding for a drywall. Okay? That's not going to do it either. It's not going to do it. So why are you going? Why are you going to Home frickin' Depot? It makes no sense. Oh, and of course, no pandemic or threat of a pandemic would be complete without a racist a-hole immediately blaming an Asian person for having it. This is actually here it is. New York subway rider. They are investigating this as a possible hate crime. A black man confronted an Asian strap hanger and sprayed him with Febreze because, Febreze does everything, right? Febreze does pretty much everything. If you got any kind of odor in your house, maybe your dog pees on the carpet or whatever, or maybe you transported a decomposing body in the trunk of your car like a mafioso. Whatever. The Febreze will take care of it. I've heard Febreze will take care of it. And here is this confrontation on a subway because the guy apparently is Asian, which automatically means he's from China, right? And that's where coronavirus came from. So he's Chinese, and he's got coronavirus.
Why is that? Why is that? Why can't I sit next to you? You better move. Why can't I sit next to you? Why can't I sit next to you?
You better move. You better move. You're being dumb right now. You're being dumb right now. So, tell him to move. Because he's standing right next to me. I don't want him under me. Tell him to move. Tell him to move. Move.
Wow. He's getting this Febreze. That'll kill the coronavirus. Suddenly it smells like the ocean. He's spraying Febreze. Wow. That's a special kind of ignorant there, right? Unbelievable. Long lines at stores and panic buying on cleaning products throughout the country, stretching America's retailers' ability to keep up with demand. Shoppers are posting pictures of social media of lines snaking around Costco, empty shelves of sanitizers at CVS, Walgreens, and other stores. And my friend Diane showing that at Costco they had no toilet paper. They had no toilet paper. Professional athletes are told they need to give fist bumps. Excuse me. NBA issued a memo to teams on March 1st advising players to avoid high-fiving or giving fist bumps to fans taking items to sign autographs. Okay? So they're doing all this. Joe Biden obviously didn't get the memo. He's still sniffing baby heads. He's still sniffing baby heads. WHO, the World Health Organization, says the mortality rate for COVID-19, which is coronavirus, 3.4%, globally higher than previous estimates of 2%. And it's already on the decline in China. People are going back to work over there. Okay? Amazon is banning 10,000 users for price gouging and removed millions of products as sales of hand sanitizer rocketed, with 2 bottles advertised for $100 amid coronavirus outbreak. Sales of hand sanitizer in the U.S. were up 73% in the 4 weeks ending February 22nd compared to a year ago. Gosh darn it! Should have bought some shares in Purell. That is despite the Centers for Disease Control recommending that soap and water is still the best way to protect against the virus. If you just, like say your alphabet like you do when you're brushing your teeth. I wouldn't actually say your alphabet while you're brushing your teeth. It look a little messy, but, but you're washing your hands like a doctor does. Okay? Remember MASH? Remember, and they just sit there and they just wash. Apparently that's what you're supposed to do. There you go. Agency recommends first washing hands with warm or cold water, then lathering soap for 20 seconds. To get the backs of the hands between the fingers, under the nails, before rinsing off. Bath & Body Works, which sells hand sanitizers with scents like vanilla rose and pineapple colada, says it's been able to keep bottles in stock at its 1,700 stores. And there's nothing like a little pineapple colada to stop a pandemic. All righty. Oh, and this is really funny. This is how weird it's gotten. 2/3 of Americans would turn down a free cruise amid a coronavirus outbreak. The results of a recent 1,013 Americans paints a rather unprepared picture. The virus is making Americans seriously reconsider visiting public places or taking trips. Okay? 2/3 of respondents said they would turn down an all-expense-paid offer to take a cruise if such a deal were offered today. They would say, nah. I think most of the time on a cruise, just because the main thing in hand sanitizer is alcohol. Just the amount of booze you drink on a cruise, don't you suppose that might kill the virus within you? Older Americans are more concerned about the virus than younger adults. Regarding the cruise offer, 77% of respondents over the age of 65 said they'd turn it down. I don't need to go on no cruise. I don't think Bernie Sanders is going to be going on a cruise anytime. Oh, did I mention that Bernie Sanders had a heart attack just a couple months ago? He's almost 80 years old and he had a heart attack. And then the other guy is almost 80 years old and has severe dementia. That's your choice. That's your choice, America. 53% and 61% of 18 to 24-year-olds and 25 to 34-year-olds say the same, respectively. Besides just a free cruise, 59% of all respondents said they would cancel any travel plans they have made and take the subsequent financial losses on book tickets, hotels, etc. No! I'd take a cruise. I'd take why not take a free cruise? Disney cruise? Hell yeah. 75% said they aren't particularly worried about the virus, that the virus will take money out of their pockets. I don't know where that came from. Just quick notes here about coronavirus. 14% of people who contract the COVID-19 virus are taken to the hospitals with severe symptoms, including breathing problems and pneumonia. 5% need intensive care. I've had that from I don't know, maybe the flu. I had pneumonia once. It's not pleasant, scary. Especially when you're laying there and you can hear the bubbles in your lungs. Weird and scary. Let's see. Majority who get the virus suffer nothing more than a cough and may never know they are infected. So far, some 51,000 people around the world have already recovered from coronavirus. 51,000 people have recovered from it in the world. About 4,000 people have died. Okay? In this country, 11 people have died. Do you know how many people died of the flu this year? Would you like to guess? How many people have died of the flu this year, including over 100 children? By the way, over 100 children have died of the flu this year. 16,000 people in this country have died of the flu this year. So what would you rather have? Would you rather have the flu or the coronavirus? You know? If you put it that way, right? Right? I'm not freaked out about it. We need to just breathe. Just breathe. I think that it's a shame that this has been weaponized politically by not only the Democrat Party, but also the media. It has been weaponized. This virus has been weaponized against the president. He's not doing enough. He's not spending enough money. It's all his fault. Everybody's going to die because of this president. Barack Obama waited 6 months on H1N1. 1,000 people died. Millions were infected. Couple of other things I want to share with you, including the new coronavirus dance that's on TikTok. TikTok. But before we do that, let's show you an incredible video of some serious road rage. And you know, I could see road rage if you're buying you're driving like a 74 Plymouth that's rusting off its frame. But now when you're driving a Maserati, David let's try that again. Sound like Joe Biden. Zulalian, 27, of Van Nuys, California, was arrested. He decided to go after a pickup truck. I don't know if you'd want to do this. Go after a pickup truck in your Maserati. This could be the road rage of the year incident. Or just another day in Kansas City, Missouri. Trust me, I live here. It gets bad. But usually the guy in the pickup truck is the one who's doing the raging. Wow. I'm thinking he's going to need some new tires. Seriously, what the hell? What would you do if you were in that truck? You're like, what is this guy doing here with the Maserati? What the hell? Road rage is honestly, it's messed up. Road rage is messed up because you're like in this several 1,000-pound piece of metal. You just think you're invincible. Not a fan of Louis C.K., but I remember he said, I'm in my car and out of nowhere, I call a guy S for brains. I don't even know the person there. I'm flipping him off and I'm calling him S for brains. I don't know who that is. He could be a father. He could be, trying to get to the hospital. And you're calling this guy S for brains and you're like screaming at him. It's weird. It's weird. I used to get really mad in traffic and I was like, what? You'll get there. Just people do stupid crap. There's the blind spot monitor on cars, and I call them the flip-off prevention method. Because that's what's going to happen. If you go, and you ever notice that? When you get in somebody's lane because you weren't looking, man, there is nothing that's going to get the road rage, going to get a flip-off, going to get all that stuff like that. Straying into somebody's lanes. And it ticks me off, too. Hey, pay attention, jerkweed. But we do. It's weird. It's just, road rage is weird. This is police officer. This is an amazing video, actually. It's just saving someone's life. This is very movie-esque. You ever seen where the it's never just pulling someone from a burning vehicle. It's pulling someone from a burning vehicle and immediately after it explodes. Trooper Robert Tarleton was conducting an unrelated traffic stop Monday afternoon, Bridgewater Township in New Jersey. Hears that there's somebody in a truck that is on fire. Let's go to the video.
You're good. Get out of here.
Just another day at work. Just another day at work, kids.
Go. Clear my stop code 5. Start fire for a TT accident. At 20.
Listen how calm he is there. It's like, okay. I'd be like, oh my God, this truck's on fire. Oh my God. I'm going to run. I'm going to the truck. Oh my God. Go, gets out of the truck, gets out of the car, runs towards the truck, which is on fire. Truck is on fire.
Go.
Guy is not able to get out of the truck. Grab the guy. Out of the truck, out of the truck, and...
You all right?
And boom, the truck explodes. Let's hear that again. Out of the truck. And boom, there you go.
All right.
It's not very often you get to be a hero at work. I mean, a hero at work. Now, listen, what I do and what I've done, making you a hero at work is like bringing lunch. Hey, guys, listen, I made some extra whatever last night, ribs. I thought I'd bring it in. Hey, you're our hero, buddy. Not pulling a guy out of a burning vehicle right before it explodes. Wow. Here's another hero. Okay. And there's been a lot of discussion about, well, it started off originally with girls competing in boys sports and we were all very against girls competing in boys sports and girls shouldn't be playing football and girls shouldn't be wrestling and all that stuff. And then it became transgenders identifying as the opposite sex and particularly transgendered males entering competitions and beating the snot out of girls. Teenager Heaven Finch, North Carolina, 106-pound weight class, is a girl wrestling against boys who are physically generally superior. She's a sophomore in high school. She won 4th place last year in the state. This year, she took the championship. Watch these moves. That's her on the bottom. How do you do that? Hold on, I got to see that again. Look at this. What? Look at this. Oh, my God. Boom, she wins. Watch this. Oh, I love this. There she is. I would say this person is 1,000 times more inspirational than Elizabeth friggin' Warren. Okay? I'll just say it. Watch this. As a father of a daughter, and by the way, they're the boys. They're not too happy. Thank you, UK Daily Mail. UK Daily Mail is the best. I love the UK Daily Mail. When I read the UK Daily Mail, it's like it literally it's like Christmas morning whenever I look at the UK Daily Mail because there's so much good stuff in it. It's left of center, it is, and they're always very anti-Trump, and they're always this and that, and all that stuff. I saw this video. It's viral. I don't have the information on it. The coolest moonwalk I've ever seen in my life. I had to share this. I don't know who it is, but damn.
Let me get this clear. Cause I had no idea. I did too much. I feel like I did too much. Let's get all y'all. Yeah, I need all y'all. I feel like I did too much. I feel like I did too much. Yeah, let's party y'all.
Wow. Those aren't the shoes with wheels. No. That's unbelievable. And even with those moves, he still can't get a date. I remember when I was in high school, that was the infancy of moonwalking and breakdancing. But moonwalking was pretty cool. I mean, to be able to moonwalk was pretty sweet. Michael Jackson did it, and I learned how to moonwalk. I learned how to moonwalk in my fake leather pants with the zippers. Yeah, I did. It was the 80s. It was the 80s. God, sometimes I wish it were the 80s, don't you? Unlike, I wish it were the 80s. I just wish that people running for president weren't in their 80s, See what I did there? Okay. Finally, I'll just wrap things up with a new Corona dance. Okay, there is a new Corona dance, a coronavirus dance, not Corona dance. Corona dance is something completely different. It's drinking a bunch of Coronas, then getting up to walk to the bathroom when you fall on your face. That's the Corona dance. This is Vietnam health officials have released a song about the coronavirus. It's dubbed the hand-washing song. The lyrics urge the public to wash their hands and avoid touching their face. Don't touch your face. Don't. Dancer Quang Dang made a dance to the catchy tune that's gone viral on TikTok. Again, I don't know where TikTok is. I think it's on TV. I'm not even sure. Dance has become the latest viral sensation with users around the world mimicking it. Let's do it together, everybody. The coronavirus dance. Wash. Yeah. Yeah. Come on. Get away from me. I'll spray you with Febreze. Do you see that? On the subway. Wash. Gotta get your fingers. And then over there, your armpit. Wash them in the air like you just don't care. All right. Come on. There it is. That's the... Okay, now you got clean hands and you're not going to die. Yay. Awesome. Woohoo. Okay. That's going to do it for me. By the way, just a couple updates here real quick. I'm in the running for a morning show in WTZA in Atlanta. Voting stopped yesterday. I hope you voted for me because I'd love to land a gig. This show starts on Newsmax TV very soon. It took me a while to get the new computer going and all that, but doesn't it look pretty? Guys, I want to thank you. And as I like to say, 2020 is no longer hindsight, okay? In our lives, 2020 is no longer hindsight. It's the year we're in. So if you're going to fall forward, don't fall backward. Forget about that stuff back there. Just focus on what's ahead. All right. In the meantime, God bless you. Thank you for watching. Follow me on social media on Facebook at Rob Carson Show. Also on YouTube, Rob Carson Show. Will you? See you next time, guys.